Really interesting. Wow. Yeah, really interesting how he considered the fold so heavily because people just under bluff in these $400 tournaments. It's really, really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, what are his bluffs? You know, like if we really think about it, like sure, ace high, like ace high has some showdown value if you had ace five, and when he raises the turn with maybe some backdoor diamond draw or something like that, he actually gets called in on this kind of board. Like, what hands do you have that you're folding?
And it's gonna have some misdraws and things too. So I think calling is the only option myself. Let's see if Boogaloo got away from it. Ooh, call is 6.
So this is close between call.
Really interesting. So call is 6, raise is 7,500 is 10 points. And I'm going to say he said that because this is a very bad player. And so he thinks the very bad player is going to stack off here with worse queens a lot. I'm going to guarantee that's what he's going to say. Very interesting, though. I thought call for sure was the right answer. I never am in this spot. I don't know. Interesting spot, too. I think this is a little bit of a lesson for everyone out there, too. A lot of times, the hands we want to float with, like this one, are better as raises. So this kind of falls in that category.
Yeah, and he was kind of an echo chamber for us there, saying, you know, we just get better hands to call and worse to fold. Yep. Like, he's going to have some gut shots in his range. He's going to have spade draw. He's going to have king X. And we kind of, we kind of identify kind of what cards are going to be bad for us on future streets. And we're aware how to proceed on those cards.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's a very good point, man. You right.
That was the best. You didn't say anything. You won. Just straight up.
You won. I'm just.
All right, so look at this. You're not opening this. You just looked at this. You're not opening.
Button cut off, hijack, low jack, under the gun one. You are.
Come on now. I am. So let's see if he.
He's got to open it, or there wouldn't be a hand.
It wouldn't be a
I'm already down on points.
You're already down on points in real life. Now, obviously, you're gonna cheat, but
I'm gonna evolve.
you're gonna adapt, right?
All right, let's play.
I'm going to cry if he says he's folding here. Like, if he's like, yeah, you should be folding this in this kind of tournament, and you were actually right. All right, cool.
Wah, wah.
Ah!
Yes! I just want to say for the record that this is the best 3-point score I've ever gotten in my life. Because the right answer was fold.
The right. But you heard what he said about the tables. This is a 3K.
Here comes the excuses. 10
The
points
excuses
fold.
to
It says
open.
right
If your
here.
table is particularly tight and weak, welcome to the $5 2K world. I mean, the $11 10K. I'm opening this, yeah, for sure.
This is the best 3 points of my life.
Oh, that's hilarious. And everybody's 50.
Nailed it. What the hell kind of play is that from King Queen? Who does that?
What the hell? Yeah, so back up.
Jonathan Little's an absolute crusher, so it's nice to have him.
Yeah, I agree, and I
He's
always
just
love
coaching.
playing right after sessions like this because I feel like my brain's warmed up. I'm thinking through things, and so it's a good way to start your session for sure.
All right, guys, this is it.
What's up, Mike? You want to give a gist? He was saying Narco Cop was playing about D-pipping about 28% of hands. He had been very aggressive in this $10 buy-in, and here are the options to fold, to call, to raise to 1,200, raise to... What? Wait a minute, he made it 800, and my man's giving options for 12 and 1,400 So it's already getting kind of spicy. That's so nasty. To be on a site with these other crushers, well-known poker public figures is pretty exciting, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I didn't mention that when I was kind of giving a little intro here too. Assassinato, Matt Affleck, John Little, all coaches on the site, so very highly respectable, quality poker content.
Yep, Evan Jarvis as well. Remember Evan Jarvis, Matt Affleck, Assassinato, John Little.
Yeah, so I guess that just makes sense. He just have the ace of clubs in his hand. That's interesting, though. I
How
thought
many
that was
points you got?
interesting.
You didn't do that bad. 45.
I like how you just pat me on the back. You didn't do that bad. Well, yeah, good job, buddy. Like,
The back.
I remember I got the higher score in the first one. So, we're 1 for 1, buddy.
I just want to know.
Calling, guys. Let's see if we're good.
Similar situation.
That's pre-flop? I think pre. All right, guys, we're checking, I guess. Oh, for fuck's sake.
One of the things I see people when it comes to poker is when you can get to the turn and there's an opportunity.
When you're facing a min raise or just a touch more than a min raise, and there's an ante in play, which is going to be the case in most tournaments, I think, going forward, you want to defend pretty wide. If your opponent's making a 2.
All right, cool. You're going 1,400?
I'm going 1,400, guys.
I'm going to call with the arm and just see what happens.
All right, and ready for
I would
the
fold in game, though, for the record, in case that's the winning game.
You won. You win. I have to concede. You win.
14K.
14K, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Well, now we count, man. This is a pretty rough spot because damn it.
Mm-hmm. Where do you gonna get my chat? They like naughty things. They like just beer, alcohol,
All right, let's do I can do a $10 ACR giveaway.
$10 ACR giveaway courtesy of my man Toe. For me beating that ass heads up in this. Sorry. No, we'll do this. We'll have to do it at least once a week, man. And then we'll do it every week a couple times.
So it's a tie.
I guess we got to give out $10 to each other's communities. We'll just do our own $10 free roll for each. Or does that sound fair?
Yes. Do you know what this means?
You win. I give his chat $10. Take it.
So that's cool because we have
Animal.
2 ties and then a win from you and a win from me. This is like the epic battle. It's perfect. It's great.
Yeah, we're even Stevens.
This is awesome.
Take it.
I love it.
You know.
Stop. We got a giveaway going. Let's run the giveaway for the $10 ACR winner. Closing the giveaway. Drawing the winner. My man Sebs are getting the $10 ACR giveaway for this one.
What up? How y'all living? Saturday. Back on the study stream we go. Flying solo today. Sixes is out on his way to the airport to go to the Irish Open. I was just chatting with him. Going to chase some leprechauns, get some pots of gold. Gonna do it for America. USA. USA. So send that love and good juju over to Sixes while he's going to crush some souls and have a opportunity of a lifetime, right? Like, holy shit, get to go to fucking Ireland. Get to go to Ireland for free. Get to go see the culture and the sights and play some poker. Holy shit, man. Crazy. What an opportunity. Yeah, man. What an opportunity. What a crazy ride. All right, with that said, exclamation point PC in the chat for a link to sign up for free for Jonathan Little's PokerCoaching.com. That's who sponsors this stream. Uncle JL himself. Click the link, sign up for free. You get free quizzes, you get charts, you get some homework assignments, you get some good stuff. Don't forget to get into the Poker Coaching Discord where we are in there pretty much every day answering hand history questions, general chat, there's giveaways and stuff. We have 6 free study groups a week, including this one. All good content. They do pay me to say this, but I would say it anyway. Best free content for poker anywhere, like no question. So make sure you're getting on that. That's the free shit, man. That's the easy free shit. All of those sessions, this one included, are recorded. They're all put in the study groups room. If you want to see this stream from the beginning, which is pretty much right now, or any stream we've ever done in the past, bang, there's a YouTube link. You can go check them out. We've had lots of guests. We're going to have guests again as soon as Sixes gets back. We had Evan Jarvis on the line, and we all fucked up. Evan forgot, we forgot, and then it was like mid-sesh. We're like, oh, fuck, what about Evan? So Evan Jarvis is going to come on really, really quickly. So that is going to be good. Evening cash game sessions on Tuesday, says eSpirit. There you go. And there's some member study groups in there too. So there's a 6 free with the poker coaching coaches, me, Sixes, Luis Felipe. And then there are the evening one that eSpirit's talking about for cash games on Tuesdays. And I believe there's an evening one from the members as well on Mondays. So what is that? 6, 7, 8 study groups. Holy fucking shit. Jarvis not coming in today, but he will come in shortly. I didn't want to have him. I almost thought about having him as a guest host while Sixes was gone, but then figured we would wait till he comes back and do a 3-way dealio. But he will be on next, soon, very shortly. Heads up too. I'm not sure. So this week we're good. We're good for this. Oh, by the way, put poker coaching in the chat while I'm blabbing. Poker coaching in the chat. The way this is going to work is I'm going to draw 2 people from this stream. We're going to have you guys compete for the quiz on the stream. We're going to talk about the answers, and then we're going to go with whatever the competitor says they want to do. Whoever gets the highest score will win $5 from Uncle JL. So while you guys are doing that, let me make sure that's working. It is. All right. What was I talking about? I was talking about Evan. I was talking about the study groups. You know how we do. Praying. It's all love. It's all love in the poker coaching family. But I forgot what I was talking about. Ginger, aka GLBRN. That's funny, Ginger. We changed your name. What's up, Missy? You made it. Damn it. I was blabbing about something and got distracted. Talking about Evan coming on. Oh, I was talking about this. Yeah, so this week we're good. The QA on Thursday is good. And then next week, we might have to completely punt the QA and the study stream. So stay tuned on social and stuff for that. Because 6 is going to be an island, and I have to go to a memorial service. So I'm going to try and find a filler, at least for the QA. But we might have to miss one, which doesn't really happen very often. I think we missed a total of like maybe 5 in the 4 or 5 years of doing this. Will there be a cast session on Tuesday morning? I believe so, Monkey May I think I'll hit up 6s in a second, but I'm pretty sure he found someone to sit in. I vaguely remember him telling me, I'm almost certain he told me he got someone to sit in. All right, so those are all the announcements for the session. Let's get this party started. Let's draw 2 people. All right. Oh, and this is how it's going to work too. Because I have 2 different browsers open, taking the same quiz, the score is going to be a little jacked up. So I got my notes, my trusty notepad, and my pen. I'm going to write down the contestants, and then we'll keep score that way as we go through it, because they're going to conflict, because that's how they work. No, you get up. Cool. All right. Let's draw 2 people. Winner number 1. What up, Pucks? How you doing, man? I saw your what up earlier, but I've been blabbing. Hey, kick it off right away with Mr. Joey. Joey, maybe instead of punting that week in April, maybe you could take over the QA that day. We'll talk about that if you're okay with that. No pressure. Winner number 2. The gods have spoken, right? Like Joey came up. I was like, oh, Joey could do the QA the week that I'm out. You get to study with 6s? Lucky. I am lucky. Super lucky we became friends. We became friends in the most weird, random way. Hey, right away. Ginger versus Joey. How fun. Look at that. Ginger comes in. That's right. The savage. Don't fuck with Ginger. I always say this. Ginger's one of my favorite people to have seen her poker growth over the last few years. Super fun. Super fun. Vote Joey. Yeah, that's probably a good idea, huh, Julian? We'll see if Joey's down. All P.S. Sixes is the man. You guys know the story, right? Like, randomly, we were both on the Stormers for ACR and didn't really know each other, except that we were both on the Stormers. And then he was in town for the WSOP. And I was like, hey, Sixes, like, maybe we should do this tag team thing. It's the first year they're doing a tag team event. We can have us team Stormers. You, me, Poker Pastor was on the team at the time. And we did. And then we made a run. And then over the course of the 3 days of making that run, we busted in 24th, I think. We became friends and said, hey, we should study together. Oh, Ginger. I'm so sorry. Ginger, I was so sorry. I don't think I've ever fucked up as a streamer as bad as I did that weekend, Ginger. I'm so sorry. I really am. I feel bad. You're one of my favorites. I fucked that up. I deserve the silent treatment. Never let it go. It's true, I deserve it. I deserve the giant treatment. I fucked that up bad. I feel really bad. That was terrible. All right. On to some happy news. We're gonna watch Ginger kick Joey's ass and win some money. All right, let's do this. Let's play this quiz. Let's find out. You'll be back again in December. All right. So, Ginger, hit me up on Discord and give me your phone number. I'm going to put it in my contact list so that when you call, it says, this is Ginger. And I promise I will. I promise. If you'll have me back, I promise we'll make it happen. All right, cool. I got some friends in poker. We all just lose money together. Yeah, I mean, really fortunate. I met Sixes that way, and then Sixes randomly met Justin Saliba playing poker. They're from the similar neighborhoods, and he just randomly met Justin. Justin was playing $7 tournaments and some micro stakes cash at the time, and he went on to be Justin Saliba. He randomly got a job with Jonathan, took me and Sixes along with him because we were his boys. And look at this shit, like, fucking here, got Matt Affleck on speed dial, hanging out with Jonathan. Like, what the fuck? Crazy life, man. Crazy life. So lucky. All right. Anyways, that's enough blabbing. Let's get better. Let's do this quiz. Let's find out.
Tristan Wade here.
This is Multi-Way with Tristan Wade.
PokerCoaching.com from $300 online MTT from WSOP.com, as you can see right here. Let's see. So we got a bunch of folds, and then action is on the button, who comes in for a small raise. The small blind calls, and we are here in the big blind with the big old 7-9 offsuit. What should we do here? Should we fold? Should we call? Or should we 3-bet to 1,700?
Yeah, man. Sixes and Saliba, they met at the casino randomly and became friends that way. And Sixes and I were studying together. And Sixes is like, hey, man, I met this kid, Justin, and he seems pretty good. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He wants to work. Want to bring him into the study group, and bang. That was like 3 or 4 years ago. And we had a study group together. We met 2 or 3 times a week for a few years until Justin got too good for us and went on to win millions. And then now we don't meet as much, but we have a little private chat between me, Justin, and Sixes, and we throw hands at each other that way every week. And in fact, Justin was just answering some of my marked hands last night. All right, let's see what the masters are doing here. Everybody calling. How can we set up a slap contest like Dana's new company with Airball and Berkey? We'll get to that in a second. Sir Axel call. Everybody call. Except for Missy. Missy folding. She's on Fold Island by herself. You know what's funny is, like, one, I didn't think Berkey was, like, the kind of guy that would, like, step up the way he did. Like, he faced off, which I thought was kind of crazy. Both Joey and Ginger calling. Everybody calling but Missy. Unfortunate. Yeah, so I didn't think he was the kind of guy. Oh, there's the fold. Win baby folding. There it is. So anyways, I didn't think he'd be the kind of guy that would like step up like that. I mean, he did say, you know, pardon my French here, I'm quoting, you should go suck dick for buy-ins, which is pretty harsh. But I was kind of surprised. And like the fight thing kind of seemed dumb, right? But the slap contest, The slam contest seems like a fucking phenomenal idea. That seems perfect. Special ask if this mixed folds. No. I'll bring up the chart in a second. I'm gonna do it here on the side. This is gonna be a call. So, but hey, what's up, Jerome? The idea here in these defends, usually it's going to be all the one gappers offsuit. So like 9-7 and 8-9, and all the connected ones, 5-6 and 7-5. 9-7 will be in there, of course, right? 10-8, 9-10. So that's what these usually are. Oh, I don't know if Poker Coaching has the multi-way charts, to be honest with you. But I'll bring it up here. Getting back into poker, did you expect the yeah, I mean, shit's been crazy, right? Like, there's been a lot of shit going on. I think some of it is good, some of it is bad, right? Like, cheating and scammer allegations and conspiracies are terrible, right? How many bigs do we have here? It's like 60. That's terrible for poker. But like having these like characters like Eric Pearson and like even Jungle Man showing up in costume, I think that's good. It gets people interested in talking. That standoff actually made Las Vegas local, which is a local tweet thing. A local, like, hang on, I'm plugging this in while I'm blabbing. Small blind call. Yeah, so you can see here. Everything's suited, and then it's always these, like, connected and one gappers. This even has some two gappers, which I probably miss these two gappers if I'm honest. These are pretty rare. Yeah. So yeah, I think some of it's good for poker, right? How about we go, Mrs. Toe, talk about UFOs? We could do that. UFOs, astrology, my beautiful hippie wife. All right, let's call. Both players call. Let's call.
All right, folding is out of the question here. We are
10
up
points,
against
call.
a wide range on the button, and I don't want to say wide. Calling range from the small blind. It's going to be a lot more condensed than a button opening range, but folding is out of the question when you have a connected hand, just because we're up against a very wide button range and a somewhat liberal calling range from the small blind. It could be good hands. It could be mediocre hands. It could even be bad hands if they're not a great player. So any kind of connected hand here that has good equity, we want to defend. And we don't really want to 3-bet this spot, because if we 3-bet here, small blind has a short stack, they could just shove. And we don't want to play hands like this out of position as big bluffs. So 3-betting shouldn't really be a thing here. So default, call. Okay, we get a pretty decent flop. And I'm not going to give us a option to lead, because that's just doesn't happen all that much, although it is a thing. But anyway, we're going to check to the button, who then bets 444. The small blind folds, and I want to know, what should you do now? Should you fold, should you call, or should you raise to 1200?
Yeah, so I ran it at 60 beats. At 40, it's the same, except those three gappers come out, and there are some jams. Imagine 30, it's going to be similar. What's up, Machine Gun? How you doing? Honestly, should be slapped in his beautiful kitchen with no recourse. That's hysterical. Oh, that is hysterical. Yeah, I mean, I have thoughts on that. Like, I don't really have thoughts on whether or not Robbie cheated. My theory is that hand was played in a casino. It went under investigation. The casino 100% should have held the money in escrow until things were solved and then gave it to whoever was determined to be deserving. That's what the casino's for, right? And they didn't do that. But they ran the investigation. Investigation came back not guilty. And so, in my opinion, Garrett owes Robbie the money. Like, regardless of what you think. Like, it happened in the casino. They had a third-party investigation. It came back clean. You owe that woman her money. That's my opinion on on that. Michigan, we were talking about the Asanya fight tonight, but it's not tonight. It's the 8th. Just heads up. Although my new arcade machine comes today. Ninja Turtle should be here in the next couple of hours. So you know what I'm doing. All right, call. Dennis is raising to 1,200. Puck's calling. Parents is on this board raise here. This hand needs protection against overs. Villain does not have this. No backdoors, says Monkey Man. So I think just call. Joey raising. Missy calling. Raise to fold random overcards. Flat, says Beats. Also, you bet at 2 people. But he also bet in position, which he's going to do a lot. Spud thinks it's a majority raise. Ginger raising as well. She agrees. These hands and these suits. Would you do something different with different suits? Molten Ashes? Was that an April Fool? That's so funny, Beats. I did see her holding the book. I didn't think anything of it. I was like, oh, she's just milking the moment. But I didn't realize it was April Fool's. That is funny. I fucking forgot it was April Fool's. Damn. You know what I should have done is I should have like started the stream and let Machine Gun run it as if he was me. Damn, Marlon, we missed an opportunity. I didn't think about that till right now. We could have April Fool's the shit out of this stream. Damn. Or like you said, I forget who it was, but have my wife run it. Just talk about her interests. 6, 7, 7, I'll be raising. A7, King 7. Jerome raising. Julian about to die, driving through the mountains. Molten says, I'd be more with raising the backdoor flush draw. So the suited version is what you're saying versus the offsuit. You said these suits, so I was wondering if like maybe it was club spade where you block 2 of the backdoor flush draws. All right, cool. I think I am calling here. Our hand does need some protection. It is a late position open. The problem is like when we raise here, where I'm getting stuck is like what calls us that's worse, right? We always have to ask ourselves. Sorry, Ginger distracted me. If we always have to ask ourselves if we're betting for value, which we're obviously raising for value here, what's worse that can call? Fuck, ace 3, ace 4, a little bit of 5x, and that's it. Mrs. Toe would have totally answered your call, by the way, Ginger. So when you DM me, I'm gonna give you. That's what else I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you her number, as well. Why be wearing the DJ hat? Exactly, and like the Global Poker T-shirt. Damn it, we missed an opportunity. Missed an opportunity. Raising your better 7s. I agree. Beats like A7, King 7, probably Queen 7. Here, like when we raise a 7, if he has a 7. Like, we can't get called by worst 7, right? So we're, like, targeting a 5. It's tough. It's tough. Yeah, what raise would be a pure protection raise, and I don't really like doing that, personally. All right, anyways. I'm calling. Ginger and Joey both raising. Let's find out. He likes the raise.
Again, another cool spot here. We're up against a button opening range. Even though there were 2 players the button was betting into, now it's just us. So we have some options here. Folding is not one of them. Calling, I give you 10 points.
Oh, you get 10 for the call as well.
1,200, I give you 10 points as well.
Right on,
I do think there are some 7x variants that we want to play for value as a raise. Now, be warned, because the button can still have hands that we don't have, like 8s, 9s, 10s, jacks, queens, kings, and aces. We just don't have those hands because we would have 3-bet all those hands, more or less.
Yes.
So when you do raise in these spots, you need to be
Are there any notes on the
cautious.
villain?
The
No.
cool thing about raising here, though, is that we are up against someone who has a lot of trash. So we can go ahead and raise for value with more speculative holdings like this. Now, 7-9 becomes a really cool candidate to raise here for value because if a turn card comes a 6, if the turn card comes an 8, we do have a little more equity that we don't mind trying to realize getting to the river. So that's helpful, you know. But we do have bluffs to raise here too. So if you have bluffs, you need to find some value hands, and this happens to be one of the value hands. So if you call, I give you 10 points. If you raise to 1200, I give you 10 points because I think both are a thing here. I elected for the second option of raising, and my opponent calls. Okay.
Fair enough.
Turn card is one of those cards I mentioned, the 6. Now, what do you think we should do here?
Oh,
should
shit.
we check? Should we bet 1200 or should we bet 3000?
Oh, shit. All right, so in game we raised. We're playing that tree, right? So since we did raise and our contestants raised, so no reason to think any differently in the spot. What are we doing now? Apparently the villain is a scammer. I saw it on Twitter. Berkey's not a scammer. Man, like Doug's been going hard though. Man, like he's got that video like immediately where he just shreds Solve for Why in every way imaginable. All their coaches, their content, he shreds them. And then I was watching something recently where I think maybe in the Adelstein interview where he was like, yeah, I don't think Berkey's a scammer. I think he's a fraud. I was like, holy shit. These motherfuckers are going hard in the paint. Sheesh. I can't say anything. I can say Doug is not a fraud from a poker perspective, and I have no comment on Solve for Why because I haven't seen any of their content. Oh, sorry. Sorry, it's a weird size thing going on here. I don't know what happened, but so I apologize. There's the there you go. I can't speak either way, Julian. I mean, I do think the Solve for Why to be on Solve for Why is really expensive. It's 4K or something is what I saw. So, like, I'm okay with spending that much money on training. I've done that kind of thing before, but it better be some really good training. And I can't say one way or the other. Like I said, I've never seen any of their content. We pick up equity, so check OP. Check. I see 3K. I see 1200. Do we want to polarize? Asked Jam Lance. What up, Jam Lance? It's been a minute. Yeah, it's true. Like Doug's got like, you don't want to get in like a verbal battle with Doug, man. I'll never forget like the more rake is better thing was happening, and this was months afterwards. Like all the hoopla had died down. And then I was walking into the WSOP for the first time, and Doug bought that billboard right at the entrance of the main driveway to the Rio so that every player coming in would see it. You could not, there's no other way to come in. And it said, more rake is better. And I was like, whoa, like Doug went out and spent like 3 to 5K or some shit for a billboard right over the Rio entrance. I was like, this guy goes hard. 3K for Ginger, 3K for Joey. Both these guys have similar strategies here. 1200 for Sir Axel. To Beach Jam? No, Beats at 3K. I know they're strong enough to polarize when the button bets multi-way. Good thoughts there, Molten Ashes. Good thoughts. Is this good enough hand to bluff catch, though? So, I mean, we're not really even bluffing, right? Like, we're certainly still in value territory. When we check raise this, the play was check raise flop. Pray. I definitely would not be jamming. Because when we jam now, we jam fucking 2x pot here, because look at the effective stacks. We only get called by better, right, at this point. When we check raise this flop, fuck, man, like he's got a value type hand. I have mixed feelings. Generally, when we pick up equity, we continue to barrel. And at the same time, given that we've condensed ranges on the flop, this hand feels marginal made and wants to get to showdown. What the hell would I do? I feel like I would check. I feel like checking is my strongest feeling right now. And then I can guarantee to see a river and still keep him wide enough where he's going to have some bluffs, I guess. Although I don't know what bluffs on the calls the check raise here. Again, like ace 4 diamonds, ace 4 spades, ace 3 diamonds, ace 3 spades, and then better hands than ours. And then hands like 6, 8 suited, right? That's in there. What would I do with A7? I would bet A7 beats. Because A7, I beat his other 7X. Right now, I don't beat any other 7X, right? I think I would definitely continue with A7, and I would size probably the 3K. I think that's what I would do with A7. Or King 7, too. I think King 7 is in there. Queen 7 seems close. Jack 7, I think, is kind of starting to get down where we don't beat much of the other 7X that he opens here. Right? I think I would check, but if Tristan said that he would bet an amount here, I mean, you bet 3K and get jammed on. Golly, like, it's one of those spots where I don't know that you can fold and you're just never winning. You're never winning if you bet 3K and get jammed on here. Ever. Ginger says, bet big because after raising and getting called, even with the big pair, we have all the 2 pair. We do. We have all the 2 pair. We have all the sets. And we have straights, Ginger, because we're in the big blind, right? So we have 8-9. We have 3-4. He doesn't have 3-4. He has 8-9, right? That's the problem, too, is he's got 8-9, too, in his range. Certainly a call by worse for a small bet. 8-6, and yeah. Some 5X, sure. Although, does the 5X still call spud when we check raise flop and then barrel turn? Like, at that point, 5X should be folding, I would think. Right? Gonna jam the A7 through Queen 7 and then 9-7. Interesting. Super interesting. We can't run this one immediately. I can run this one after the fact because we need the 3-way solver. Interesting. Let's find out. I would check, I think, in game. Both Ginger and Joey, though, going 3, I believe. Yes. All right, let's find out. Too big.
Okay, so if we're thinking about our range here, do we ever have 3-4? Yes, we could have 3-4, suited and unsuited, to check raise the flop, and now we've got there. Could we have a hand like 4-6? Yep.
I can see the small bet being good too because you just buy the river, right?
So some of those hands would keep betting
okay
for value. Some of those hands might check, like a 4-6 here would check after check raising the flop. So when you think about your range in here and where we reside in our range right now, what do we want to do? Well, if you check here, I give you 8 points because of
Check
those
8.
value hands that I mentioned that the button can have that we don't have. The button can have 8s plus here. The button can have an overpair. The button can have us completely dominated. So there are times we do want to check because we were hoping to get value on the flop from weaker hands. And then if we face a bet, we just have to call, right? So checking is a play here. We can also bet here, but I prefer a smaller bet of like 1,200, half pot or 40%, even a little bit smaller is what I prefer because of the dynamic of the board and where we reside with the strength of our hand. Again, we only have a pair of 7s. Betting 3,000 here really shouldn't be a thing because of everything I'm speaking on with a range advantage, with equity advantage from the in-position player and stuff. This board's starting to favor the big blind a little bit more, but we need to think about where we reside in our range. And we're kind of weaker with some of those hands in our range. I mean, granted, we still have top pair, but now with all straights, different straights out there, and our opponents still having bigger hands, we need to be careful. So I think we should either be checking or small betting here, and I went with a check. And our opponent checks back. So think about what you would expect them to check back here. Could they have a hand like ace-3, ace-4? Could they have ace-5, ace-deuce? Could they have a 7 themselves? Would they check back their 8s, 9s, 10s, jacks, queens, kings, or aces? So that's something you need to consider. Okay, but it does go check, check. The river is the deuce.
Oh,
and
the pretty
what
deuce.
should we do now?
The
Do we check?
pretty little
Do we bet
deuce.
1,800? Do we bet 3,000? Or do we go all in?
Oh. What was up with that, Tristan? till we go all in. In game, this one check, which is great for us. That is good information. I want to do the other scenario, says Maggie. Damn you. This looks like a classic toe blocker sizing spot. Cyrus said go 1K. Okay. 1800 for Hollywood. Roger. All in. Beats likes the blocker. Missy. Going big for value. If we check, I'd like a blocker is praying. Blocker bet be like 800. 1800 for Maggie. Well, it's 1800, like half pot. I think that gives merit for everything but jam, he says. 1800 for Joey. I think he was hinting that we should go. Oh, you think he was leveling us? He was trying to get in your mind, man. 3K. Oh, here's where we part ways. Ginger going 3, Joey going 18. We are not going to have a coin flip this time. $18 for Carter, 18 for Minmat. Let him bluff call. Let him bluff, check call, says Contrast. Just beat the best here, there will be a winner. That's right. That is right. Yeah, for me, I agree that I would do the classic GBT blocker bet. I also agree that my bet would be smaller than 18. I think I would bet 18. Again, with some of the better sevens, things like A7 and King 7, for sure, I would go bigger for value. This one, again, it's hard to get called by worst 7. We're targeting a 5, and so we have to go small. Which for me would be, yeah, like 800 to 1,000, I think. Right? I'll tell you what it would be. 37, because I have presets for this, times, yeah, 1,200 is good. 1,100 seems like the best bet size here-ish. 1,100-ish, I think, is the answer. But yeah, this is great. With small, we can call by worse. It's great. When we go big, Ginger, when we go 3K here, now we're forcing them to have better hands, right? Because the bigger you go, the stronger they have to be to call. And so now I'm worried that if we do that, we get called by better 7, and we start to get the 5 to fold. You know, we're really targeting the 5. Or maybe he had something like 6-8 and hit the 6. We really want the 6 to call. And this one, check raise on the flop, which exudes some strength, right? And then bet river. Yeah. That's right. Let's do it. So Ginger going 3K. We picked Joey first, so we're gonna have Joey up here on the main screen. I'll have Ginger here on the second screen, and we'll see what it would be here. Joey going 18. 10 points, 18.
All right, so I really love this hand
Ginger went
because
3.
we're taking different lines that
3
people
points
might
for
not be
the 3.
accustomed to by us check raising this kind of hand for value on the flop. When we check on the turn, we did that to just play a little safe. We could have also bet 2. You know, both options would have been completely fine. Now that we get to the river, we need to kind of conduct a summary here. Do we think our opponent has a stronger hand than us? And I would say it's unlikely. If our opponent had a bigger pair, granted higher than 7s, we probably would have heard from them on the flop or turn. So when we get this safe river card, I think we just now need to bet for value. And it's pretty easy of a bet here at this point. So checking, I give you 0 points. We absolutely cannot check once we check the turn. We don't want to check the river when we get a good river card like this. Basically improves our hand. So I like a bet. I like a bet of 1,800 here, half pot or so. Bet of 3,000 is okay. I just think it's excessive given where we are in the strength of our hand. I would rather bet 3,000 here with a deuce, with a straight, or maybe with some weird hand I have to turn into a bluff, but I don't really see what hands those would be getting to the river. You know, an ace-3 or ace-4 in particular stands out, but I don't know if I don't barrel off ace-4 on the turn. So yeah, I really don't know how many hands I want to be betting big on the river here with, unless it's just like a set that I have deuces or fives or something like that that I want to go for value. So anyway, more or less, I like just an appropriate bet here, and I went with
An
about half
appropriate
pot,
bet.
and our opponent folded. So likely we just had the best hand from the flop, but I think there was some really cool lessons here along the way on how we want to play against a wide range, and how we change our turn and river strategies against said pots. So hopefully this was insightful. I'm Tristan Wade. I'm moving on to the next quiz.
A couple of questions are out there. One was, if he's bet small, do we induce the raise? Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, what hand does he have that beats us here with the raise? Like, it does. His play doesn't make any sense. Two, I think when we check raise flop and then bet this on, like, on this board, we're unlikely to get raised because we still have all the sets, the boats, the twos. We have 8-9. We have 3-4. So, like, you don't get raised here very much. You just don't. So there's that. And also, like, when it goes check on the turn, one, they're not that likely to bluff. As who said that? Somebody said that. Molten Ashes said that. And two, like, if I check here and they go 3K, now what? Like, now we're starting to get into a territory where, like, I'm like, oh fuck, like, this is getting too big to hero call with a shit 7. Right? So we control the action a lot. We get to control the betting a lot in a spot where we don't really ever get bluffed. Sorry. So yeah, that's that. And a lot of times too, you hear me say this a bunch. Like, it's better to bet fold than to check call in a vast majority of situations. Not always, but in a lot of situations. Cool. 10, 20, 32 for Joey. 10, 20, 25. Wait. 10, 20, 32, and 25. Yes. Joey gets there on the river. Congratulations. Says gift sub. Okay. While I'm doing that, let's cancel this. Let's pick 2 new contestants. Let's see here. No 66. NO number 6 will be the keyword like usual, and then I will pick a quiz. And I will do a gift sub. We got we're multitasking. Holy shit. All right, let's go down here because I'm nice to 6s and don't do the quizzes that I know he's gonna like. He don't give a fuck. He takes all the good ones at the top and just moves on with his life. I'm nice and save them. You can see who's the real sport here. There we go. We'll do a little cash. All right, so there's the cash one. You guys got the keyword going in. I was doing a give sub. Give the sub. Durgy. Gift blah 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 blah. Burr. Whoa, no. Gift 1 sub. Yes, I almost did 10. The fuck? What happened? Gift the sub. Pay the man his money. Hey, and look at that. It went to Missy. Hey, congratulations. Congratulations, Missy. Welcome to the Toe Army. All right, cool. We're good. Life is good. All right. 20 eligible peoples. Let's roll it. Where's the 100 gift at, man? I just spent all my money on arcade machines. You know that. Winner number 1, Mr. Contrast. Winner number 2, the Carter. All right. 1,000 gift subs. Serious. It's a fucking tough crowd here. Holy shit. All right, Carter versus Contrast. We're doing some cash game accident with the man, Mr. Jarvis. What up, Larry? How you doing, boss? Let's kick
Hello,
this off.
Poker Coaching members. Evan Jarvis here for PokerCoaching.com. Today we are reviewing a 50-cent, $1 no-limit hold'em online cash game quiz from PokerStars. And the best part about the quiz is we got AA. Hey, baby.
Hey, Ginger, thanks for that.
We have 3 regs on the table. We have a laggy reg, we have a taggy reg, and we have a b-ballin' reg. And then we have Who's That Fish? Who is sitting on 75 big blinds. That's all we know, but we know that's not a full stack, so he's probably a fish. And he opens to $3. Actions on us. We are 100 effective with everyone other than that fish who's got 75. What should we do? Should we call? Raise to 6, raise to 10, raise to 15.
He hit you with the na. Look, the Pahrump crew in the house. Oh, shit. We got the whole Pahrump gang here. All right, we got raises to 10. Streaming through. Dennis going 15. Lots of 10s. Julian balancing his folding range. 6. Click it, says Joey. In tournament, 100% flatting, he says. I see you, Joey. I see you. That was just the 2 gift subs, right? Yeah. Spud Smasher, I think I got you for the follow earlier. If I didn't, I apologize. Thank you, buddy. And Ginger with the 63 months. I don't think I called that out. 63 months. That's a lot of months. That's almost all the months. It's almost all of the months. Yeah, he corrected himself. He didn't mean to click it, Cyrus. You can say sus. That's funny. I can see little girls. Seems sus, Dad. I think you feed me some bullshit. All right, yeah, we're raising it. 10. Everyone's a 10. I would probably go. 10 seems good, right? 3x we're in position. 3, yeah, 10. I was thinking 15, but 10 seems good. I'm down with the 10. 10 seems good. Contrast with Carter, I think, about 10. Everybody pretty much went 10. Let's see. Let me just scroll up. Carter went 10. Contrast went 10. Let's do this.
This is a spot where majority of the time we are going to want to be isolating the fish, building the pot, and getting that player heads up. If we had some absolutely crazy regs, we may consider calling to set the trap so they can squeeze, and if the fish calls, we can back race and all that good stuff. But if we call, even the loose players are probably just going to overcall to try to flop a good hand against the fish and be able to extract some value. So calling is just a little bit too much of a fancy play syndrome. We want to be 3-betting here. The question is how much. Min raising does the job of getting the pot heads up, but it doesn't quite build the pot enough to be able to really get all in on later streets. There'd be about $12 in the middle with $70 left behind. Take some work to get the rest of the money in. And we want our opponent to feel more invested in the pot. So for that, going with 10 is going to be enough where the pot's nice and significant. There's going to be $20 in the middle if he calls. It's going to be enough for him to want to fight over, but we're still giving him a decent price to call pre-flop, giving him 2-1 on his money. Whereas if we went for 15, it's pretty expensive, and we may see him folding a lot of hands that would continue for this smaller raise size. And when you have aces, you want your opponent to continue in a heads-up pot because you're winning this pot 80% of the time, and when they make a pair, that's going to be a bigger pot that you're winning 80% of the time. So our opponent calls. Flop is absolutely glorious. 5, king 5, giving us aces up. And our opponent checks to us $21.5 in the middle. What should we do? Should we check, bet a quarter pot, bet 50% pot, or bet 75% pot?
2 thoughts. One, I don't remember who said it. 100% flatting in tournaments with this hand. Never flatting. We're 100 bigs deep, like 70 bigs deep, whatever the fuck it is. Like, get that money. Raise races. And the second thought was like, Ginger, I'm so sorry. She's laying on dick today, but I 100% deserve it. I'm so sorry. It'll never happen again. I promise. Never, ever. Ever, ever, ever. All right. Carter going 25, 25, 25. 75 for Dennis. 25, 25. Missy going 75. 50 for Mr. Beats. 50 for Momu Jojo. Did you change your screen name? You changed your screen name, didn't you? 50 in tournament. Be going to third. Jerome going 25. Lots of 25s. 25, 25, 25, 25, 25, 25. Carter going 25. I don't give a fuck. Nah. Not this deep. It'd be different if Laggy Greg... I guess if they had like some ginormous squeeze number, it makes sense. Or if we were different stack sizes. Ooh, Cyrus. Leveling. Leveling. Contrast says 50. Do me a favor, Contrast, at me so it pops out. We got a lot of chat going on. So I don't have to dig for it. But 50% for Contrast, 25% for the Carter. And this is where we part ways. Yeah. This is where I say F you, Cyrus, and go 50%. Because this is cash, baby. And in the cash groups, like 50% is generally going to be the right answer in these spots because we're so deep. Whereas in a tournament, I would not go 50%. You were right, Cyrus. But this is cash game, baby. We got them. We got them with the asterisks. So, yeah, 50% seems good. 25% is okay. It's okay. And I think most of you guys are tournament players, and in tournaments, 25% is the standard play. When we're this deep and it's cash game, 50% tends to be the right answer. 75% is too much. Like at 75% now, you know, you always have to ask ourselves, we're betting for value or we're betting as a bluff. We're obviously betting for value. What's the risk that I can call? And if we go 75% here, we just get a lot of folds because it's going to have a king or a 5. Otherwise, he can't continue, right? And we want to keep him wider than that. We want to bet something where like pocket 8s can still call. Something where pocket 10s and jacks can still call. When we start to bet 75%, those hands can start to fold, which is bad, right? All right, cool. We're going to put, who do we draw first? We draw Contrast first, who I think said 50%. Did. So we'll keep Contrast up on the main screen. We got Carter on the side screen. Let's find out.
Now, this is a board that is dry enough where if our opponent was very aggressive or if he was much shallower stacked and we knew we could get all the money in with 2 streets of betting, that checking is totally fine. If our opponent has a king, he has 2 outs and we're getting all the money in. If our opponent has a 5, say Levy, he's got us. But if he's got anything else, he's drawing dead or drawing to a 2-outer if he has a pocket pair. And therefore, you know, we don't mind him seeing a card, especially if he's the type to bet when we check back in a 3-bet pot, if he's someone who's going to fight over the pot. Now, I don't know that about this player yet. I don't have enough reads on this player to know that. But what I do know is this is also a really good board for us to bet really small with our entire 3-betting range. And also a board where if we bet really small,
I stand corrected.
Our opponent's going to want to continue, and the pot's going to be big enough that it's worth fighting over. So we don't need to bet big here. We don't need to bet 50%. That would put 40 in the middle with 55 behind, easy all in. We don't need to bet 75%, but even if we just bet a quarter pot here and our opponent calls, there's 30 in the middle, there's 2x pot remaining with 2 streets left. Very easy for us to be able to get all the money in without having to resort to large bet sizes. So we bet a quarter pot, our opponent calls, turn is a jack of clubs, bringing a backdoor flush draw. We block the backdoor flush draw with the ace of clubs, and our opponent checks to us. What should we do? Should we check, bet 40% of the pot, bet 60% of the pot, bet 80% of the pot?
This is where Cyrus says, F you, Toe. Do what you tell us to do. And bet fucking small. Quit getting crazy. Quit getting crazy, Toe. 7 points. It's a decent bet size. It's not the best bet size. For sure. Joey says, paired board, in position, 3-bet pots, an exception. Makes sense. I'm good with it. I ain't even going to fight you. Hey, Tino, man. Congratulations. Thank you for the kind words, buddy. All right, so we bet. We get called. Happy days. All right? Now what are we doing? 40%, 60%, 80%. We officially got every answer in here. Does anybody check? Carter going 40. Missy going 40. %. It's going to be somewhere around 20, which puts 50 in there and like 40 in a stack. 60, 60, 60, 60, 60. VT Hokey checked. We officially have every answer. These guys parting ways again. 40 for Carter, 60 for Mr. Contrast.
Oh, yeah. We don't die.
40% would be like 12 or so, right? Which would put 24 more out there. Yeah, I could see 40. I can see 60. When he calls the flop, here's the thing. Like, we're betting here, right? We're targeting a king. Right? Because when we bet twice here, all those under pairs we were talking about are going to fold no matter the bet size. But you know what's not going to fold? Hands with a king in it. And then things like Queen 10 of clubs. Right? Jack 10 of clubs can't be a thing. King X, still a king. I mean, we're really targeting the clubs, right? Backdoor clubs and a king. In which case, we should go 60. We don't really need to go 80. Like, this pot's deep enough where we can get it in easily on rivers. So 40 or 60. 40 sets up a good SPR. 60 is good too. 60 is good too. He's not folding, says chat vote. Yeah, I get it, JoJo, but I don't think the villain is folding no matter the size. In which case we should go bigger, right? Like, he's either calling or not, regardless of the size, I think. I don't think if we bet 40 here, like, again, 8s are going to float one more street. I don't think. We have the ace of clubs, too. Good catch. Good catch, Cyrus. So now we're only targeting a king, in which case still kind of want to go 60. 40's fine, though. 40's look at SPR. I think both answers are okay. All right, let's do it. Contrast going 60, who's on the main screen, and Carter on the side screen. Let me just double check here. Going 40. Let's go.
And this is a situation where there are two things that
both
we really want to consider. One is, how big do we need to bet to have a reasonable size bet relative to the pot to get all in by the river? If we can have somewhere between half pot and 3/4 of the pot, we're going to be able to get all the money in against a pair of kings. The other thing we want to look at is, what is the bet size we can make where our opponent still has the illusion of fold equity, right? If we bet 30 here, which is pot, and our opponent only has 2x the bet behind, he's not going to think he can bluff us out for double our bet. Same goes for like 20. It's a little bit more. He's got a little bit of room because he's got 3x our bet, but he's still going to feel like, that guy looks pretty pot committed. There's going to be, 110 in the middle. It's 40 more to call. We're getting 3-1. Price is just too good. So what if we bet something like $10 though? Love about a pot size bet. He could check raise for 6x the bet. That's the type of range where they can go 4x, 5x your bet, where they can think that they have some fold equity. And our goal is to get all in, which we can do by betting that $10 to $15 because we'll have less than a pot size bet remaining on the river, especially if we go for the 15. But we're also giving him room to check raise all in, and we can just get it all in on the turn. Be it with a king or
that might be a thing, JoJo.
Backdoor flush draw if he wants to get real crazy with it, or something else. So I really like the 40% bet, and if not, I'm liking the 60% bet. The 60% bet makes it easier for us to get all in on the river by just betting, less than pot. But this bet size here gives him room to quote unquote spaz out and try to take this pot away because it looks like he has fold equity. So we bet $12.50. He goes all in. Action's on you. What should you do? Spoiler alert. This is an easy 10 points for you, my friend.
All right, so it's over. We're calling. Everyone's calling here. There's no need to go through this. Don't fold your fucking aces. Cool. The Carter takes this one down. Takes out the legend that is Contrast in the stream. Re-raise. I call your 60 plus. Here's my car keys and the deed to my house. Ash just wants to slow roll him. Oh no, wants to time down and then fold. So it's not a slow roll. It's a Hollywood decision. All right, let's call. Move on with our lives.
Because we've been talking this entire hand about how our goal was to get all the money in, and we wanted to be able to get all our money in against the widest range possible, and we did that by using small bet sizes so that our opponent would have the illusion of fold equity. Correct answer here on the turn is to call the all-in. Our opponent shows a pair of nines. What? He showed us a pair of nines? Yes, he did. Because he had a premium hand pre-flop that he wasn't folding to a 3-bet, and then we used a bet size on the flop there's no way he could get away from, and we made a small enough bet size on the turn that he thought we were trying to see a cheap river, and he tried to blow us off our hand unsuccessful. So that, my friend, is how you get your opponent to put all their money in with a hand that has almost no equity. Be very, very, very specific with your turn bet size. Look both at the pot to stack to pot ratio for how big you need a bet to get all in, but also your bet to their stack ratio to make sure you're giving them 4 to 5x your bet behind, because that's the amount that sometimes people are going to spaz out for because they have that illusion of fold equity. Cool. So that's going to wrap it up for this quiz. This has been Evan Jarvis for PokerCoaching.com. I hope you enjoyed the quiz. I hope you learned a thing or two.
That's a set
And I
half
look
move.
forward to seeing you in the next one.
What? He showed us pocket nines? Oh, yes, he did. Evan quizzes are always so much fun. Those are always super fun. All right, keyword. I don't know. Hey, thanks for that chat concern. I appreciate you, buddy. God, I wish I had more time. I wish I could put out more content other than just the study stuff, but there's a ton of the study stuff on there, guys. A ton of it. Go check it out. All right, we definitely got time for more. New key, no cat jam, not on this stream. Fuck that shit. All right, it's Boomer. Boomer in the chat. There you go. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick. I'll be back in 2 seconds. All right, there you go. Pro tip. Always have a toilet in your kitchen super close to your grind station. Because that's plus EV right there. All right. Let's do this. I'm taking longer in 2 seconds. It's not healthy. Yeah, baby. Kids and Def Leppard. This is from when I was at the concert. My concert tee. That was a fucking sick show. Hey, Contrast. I appreciate you, buddy. Did I wash my hands? Yeah, it's right here. It's easy. In, out, bang, bang, boom. Easy game. Easy game. All right, I think we're ready to roll. Let's do it. Bang, Mr. Cyrus. Mr. Cyrus up on the main screen. Oh, baby, he says. And Hollywood. Legends of the Army. Legends of the Army. All right. Oh, shit. I didn't pick a quiz. Let's do this real quick. Come down here.
We might have to screw sixes on something because I'm pretty sure we're all pretty caught up here. So, oh, this is more cash. We just did cash though. We'll come back to that one. Let's do short stack play. All right, let's do this, guys. Good luck.
All right, in this hand we have ace 5 of diamonds. We're in the big blind. We get a 12 big blind open. And it's on us here in the big blind. Should we fold, call, or go all in?
Okay. Facing the 10 blind. Oh, not 10. What's this? 11 to 13 blind effective. Open from early position. We are in the big blind. What do we do? Who's on Team YOLO? Not Dennis. He's calling. Not Contrast. He's calling. Not Cyrus. He's calling. Hollywood calling. Everybody calling. Jam next quiz says Beats. He did not say there was any ICM, Joey. There are no asterisks in this hand, other than homie short as fuck. Call. Call. Puck's jumping on the Beats bandwagon. If the Wiz says it's a jam, we're jamming. Oh shit. He would absolutely level like us and make it a jam and move on quiz. We've seen it before. Spud says not the ace 5. It's an early open. I kind of feel the same way, Spud. Although this is one of those hands that sometimes finds the island in a solver and jams in some spots, in some weird spots. Like this is the one. So I do see you guys when you're trying to level the solver here. I have to look this up to see if it's actually a thing, but ace 5 is one of those hands. Ace 5 and king jack suited tend to be those hands, right? I would call though. I think when we jam, particularly when they open some early position, which is going to be a condensed range overall, when we jam, we just condense that range even further, and we're fucked when we call a decent amount. I heard ace 5 is the new ace K. See, multiple jam, king jack suited. It's those hands. Those are the two hands, right? I think I would call, but if it said jam, this might be the one. Ace 5 shows up in those spots. Both contestants called. Let's find out. Like a jam.
So it's really important to remember here that this
Got
range is very
him!
polarized. It's going to have a lot of.
How long
It's
is
kind of going to need to be like jacks or better. Ace queen suited, ace jack suited, maybe ace king off, and then various high card bluffs to offset that. King 9, ace 8 off, these types of hands. So when you go all in and call, you're going to run into an overpair or like ace king, ace queen, ace jack suited, ace king off very often. So we want to be rejamming against hands that benefit from folding out the bluffs and also have good equity against the overpairs. More likely the hands that have good equity against the big pairs or block the big pairs. So ace 5 suited is kind of the primo hand to rejam with here because we block aces, we block ace king suited, ace queen suited. When we do get called by pocket queens, we have a lot of equity because we have the straight draw to go with it as well. So this is a really, really prime candidate to rejam here. We're getting a very good risk reward here on our rejam as well. So rejamming is going to be the best play here. This is one of the things I found that I'm just not rejamming enough against these like polarized 12 big blind opens. I need to be doing that more. The flop comes 9-8-5 with 2 clubs. Should we check, bet 2 big blinds, bet 4 big blinds, or should we go all in?
We call in game. Got ourselves in the spot. This is the lead board.
All right. Sorry. As play check. Check. All in, says Tino. Check. Hollywood going for with the lead. Cyrus with the check. Check. 4 for Gooner. Check. Didn't jam. Now we're in hell, says Beats. Meh. I actually have to look. This one, I have 2. I love my mechanical keyboard so much. I'm such a sicko. I've been typing for so many years that if the click doesn't sound right, I know I typoed. I can tell by the sound of the click. It's like the old school fucking beep, boop, beep, boop phones where you can hear the tone. You're like, oh, that's a 4. Agreed. No lead here, I'm pretty sure. You're going to want to lead hands like 5, 6, 7, or boards like 5, 6, 7, and 6, 7, 8, 4, 5, 6. But when the 9 starts to come in there, things start to get a little shaky. So I would check. Hollywood going 4 though. Cyrus checking. Got Cyrus on the main screen. Let's do this. Cyrus said check.
So pretty good flop for the big blinds range here, but again, we have to remember that this range is very polarized here. So when we're going to run into overpairs a lot here, it's basically pocket 10s are better, and then some overcard hands like ace queen, ace jack. We don't need to fold out those hands anymore. We're going to be doing a lot of checking in the spot, since how often this player is going to have an overpair or really, really strong hand here. Obviously, good flop for us. We're happy to get it in versus this range. But to protect a lot of our weaker hands in our range, we just want to be checking a lot of stuff here that isn't going to be doing that well when we run into an overpair if we just open jam here or whatnot. So we check, this player checks back, and we get the 3 of spades on the turn. Should we check, bet 2 big blinds, bet 4 big blinds, or go all in?
Bet 4 on the flop was 2 points for Hollywood. Like the small blocker here with 2 bigs, says Cyrus. 4 for Dennis. Check for Beats. 2 for Praying. Check for Carter. Contrast checking. Cali Grinder checking. Snake going 4. We got a bunch of answers here. Puck's going 2. 4 for Hollywood. Check for Joey. All right, guys. Here's the question. It goes check on the flop. Homeboy's pretty capped, right? So, give me 1 second to get my shit going over here. Pardon me for a sec. All right. So when I ask myself the magic questions, am I betting for value? If I'm betting for value, what's worse that's calling? I would think that hands like Jack 10, 7, 10, 9x, 8x, flush draw, all bets a flop a lot. So I don't know what I'm getting value from. Am I betting as a bluff? If I'm betting for a bluff, what is better that folds? The answer is nothing. So I'm leaning toward checking again. Never underestimate the power of showdown value. Never underestimate showdown value. Yes, I would check. All right, so 2 bigs for Cyrus. Queen 10, King Jack, King. Yeah, sure. I would think Queen 10 bets the flop.
King, Jack, King, Queen, and Ace, King, maybe not. Right? All those same hands at the floor for 2? It's a fair argument. We got shutout value, though. Tend to not turn shutout value into a bluff. Let's find out. 2 for Cyrus, 4 for Hollywood. 2 is 8 points. 4 is 10.
So when this player checks back, they probably don't have an overpair.
He wants
Maybe
protection.
Kings check back. Maybe like a hand like Pocket Nines checks back. But this is a spot now where we want to start betting for value and protection with a lot of our pair of 9s, pair of 8s, pair of 5s, pair of 3s. We have various amounts of gut shots, clubs, lots of things that we can start betting with. We're going to be betting very high frequency here. Ace-5 is certainly a strong enough hand to start betting here. We block aces, which is the main slow play that this player could have. Aces not needing much protection on the flop. So betting here is pretty good. I think we can start to bet a little bit chunky, kind of like a geometric size, so somewhere around like 4 big blinds seems good. 2 big blinds seems a little bit small. It leaves the pot, stack to pot ratio on the river at kind of an awkward size. So by betting 4, there'll be 13 in the pot. This player will have 6, and we can kind of go like around a geometric size-ish. So I really like betting 4 big blinds. Checking is fine, and the option I chose, the main reason I chose this option in game that I thought was like, I don't want to fold out ace queen or ace king or some of the ace high hands. However, we're just getting called by ace high enough here that
Betting is better.
we just are just betting for value here and getting really good value against ace queen, ace king type of hands. We check, and now should we fold, call, or go all in?
All right. We check. He bets pot. What do we do with pot? What do we do with the pot? Hollywood folding. Joey, Tino, praying, all calling. Beats, jamming, don't give a fuck. Dennis, Callie, Jerome folding. Cyrus calling. These guys have as differentiated on every street. You can tell this is a good quiz. Snake, Puck's calling. Carter, pleading the 5th. He shook. Ash is jamming. Huh. Yeah, the thing about it is weird though, right? By jamming, man, this is a weird ass spot. Part of me totally gets the jam argument. I don't think we can fold when he checks flop. I think all of his strength bets flop with the exception of things like 8s and 9s. Does even 8s and 9s bet in game though because his board's coordinated and we're the big blind defend and so we hit this board a good amount. When he checks, he's capped as fit. But when we jam, does he fold 5 bigs and what calls it's worse? Man, it's a tough one. And generally when they size up, our 3 bets disappear, right? Hey, thanks for hanging, Jerome. Jamming seems okay. I really want to call and keep him widest if I'm honest. Let's find out. Cyrus calling and Hollywood folding.
Interesting bet
Just
size
jamming.
here when this player just kind of bets full
Just
pot.
jamming.
Again,
Goose
having
to
the ace
fold.
here,
Ouch.
blocking their main slow play of aces. We have just a very easy all in here. We're getting a very good risk reward
Makes
when
sense.
this player folds. and our hand is just strong enough to go with it now. We're going to dominate some of their random bluffs that they're going to have, and yeah, we're just going to go with this hand. Go with a lot of our high equity hands. And we get a fold. It's really nice. And move along.
Nice try, sucker. You can't be messing with fucking... This is on Bet Online. You can't be messing with Mr. Matt Affleck that way. Yay! Yay! Tough quiz, right? Short stack play hard. Hard. 8, 10, 20 for Hollywood. 10, 26, 27, 28, 29 for Cyrus. Congratulations. Didn't think it would fall after that bet. Serious, right? Just fucking punted. Why? Although this is BetOnline, like I said, and they lean spazzy in general. For certain. All right, last quiz of the day. And the keyword is farewell. That was an interesting spot. For sure it was. I agree. Super interesting. We haven't done a JL today. We have that JL cash quiz. Let's do that. Multi-way in cash. Fun. To wrap her up. Alright, see me getting up the ACR here to pay my debts so I don't forget. While you guys are doing that, we got the quiz ready. We got everything lined up. You can see I'm about to fuck ACR. So this lobby is fucking slow. It's been away for a while. Auf Wiedersehen. So long, farewell, of you. Any old schoolers could name that movie? Can you date yourself? All right, Cyrus paid. Fuck ACR. No, you just gotta put everything in its place, Beats. Just gotta put everything in its place. All right, while this is going, Cyrus paid. We will draw the winners. Bang! B motherfucking money. What up, Mike? Winner number Julianne is right. Momo Jojo. The last two runners of the day. All right, Mr. Doug Slug. Everybody paid. You're paid. You're paid. Joey, we read it. All right, we're good. Our Jets are good. No getting canceled on Twitter. We're good. All right, let's play this.
Here we have Pocket Nines playing 1-3 no limit hold'em. We raise it up to $9 from the low jack seat. Small blind calls. Big blind, tricky player calls. 10, 7, 5. They check to us. Should we check? Bet $5, bet $10, or bet $20.
10 high board. What it would do in the back seat? What it would do in the back seat, folks? Don't make Toe go all Berkey on your ass. 5, 10, 10, 5. Check. 10, 20. 10, 10, 10, 10. Check. 10 for beats. This is a tough spot, actually. I always get conflicted in these spots when I play. I always get conflicted. Bet 5, says Mojo. I just said this is surely a check multi-way. Yeah, kind of like betting probably closer to 10 if I bet. Because I think betting 5 just gets too many callers and we don't thin the field very much. And now we're in a bloated pot out of position. Or not out of position, but a bloated pot with an under pair. Which is what I could totally see checking as well. I could totally see that being a thing. Those are my two conflicts of interest at the moment. The problem with checking is like it's always going to come an overcard, and then you're kind of in a weird spot unless they double cap, in which place. And you got to worry about tricky player. I'm leading check with tricky player. I think I am. They're going to check raise us on a lot of draws here, and they're going to have some 10x too. I think I'm leading check. Definitely not sizing up. Then we push them to only having a 10, right? They're checking. I'm a betting, he says. The old Amarillo Slim. You're in a weird spot no matter what on the turn. Less of a weird spot, Mike, if that goes like check, check, and then the flip turn is whatever, and it goes check, check again. You're in a much better spot, right? All right, so let's see here. 5 for Momo, who's going to be on the side screen. And Mike on 10, let's find out. Check. Let's do it.
This is an interesting scenario because 3 ways, you really don't want to do a whole lot of betting with hands that are not either very good made hands or very good draws. So I think we're just going to want to do a bunch of checking.
Checker club's
in this
your favorite
scenario,
card.
especially with hands like Jack, 10, and worse, something like that. I think that's going to want to do a lot of checking because if we bet and get raised, we certainly don't love it. And against a tricky player, we are going to get raised perhaps more often than normal, especially on a board like this, where they're going to have a lot of draws. So I think we just let it check through. I realize there are a lot of bad turn cards for us, but whatever, we'll have a marginal made hand. Maybe we try to find a way to get to a cheap showdown if our opponents bet. If we are going to bet here, I think we want to go something like $10. But even then, I don't particularly love it because we open the door to get raised. And I don't think we want to go really tiny, like 5, because, yeah, we'll get called a lot in that scenario. But at the same time, I mean, we may just be inducing a lot of raises from our opponents then, which we definitely don't want. And we also don't want to go big like 20, because then when we get called, we're going to start to be against a much stronger range compared to when we bet something like 10. That said, just check through, right? Weak 10s and worse mostly want to check. Maybe we can bet hands like 6-5 of hearts or something like that has a backdoor draw that we could reasonably call a flop raise with. But 9s like this is definitely not a hand you want to bet because it's going to have pretty poor turn and river playability.
I like the faith
if we
there,
face a check
actually.
raise. Turns to 2 of hearts.
Beautiful.
Check to us again. Should we check, bet 5, bet 10, or bet 20?
Life is good. Now we have a lot more information. Nice life, 20. 10 for Cyrus, 10 for Dennis, 10 for Carter. 20 for B motherfucking money. 20 for Ginger. Now Joey's going 10. Win Baby going 10. Snake split the difference, going 15. Pete's going machine gun on their asses, betting 20. Tino 10. Star 20. Lots of 10s, lots of 20s, and Snake half plead the 5th and split the difference. Missy with the question mark. She's not sure what the hell to do. What do we do in this spot, Missy? Folding on the flaps is not great, right? We just fold out worse. It's not good. Now they have backdoor hard draws. This is against the blinds, right? They have 3-4. Ace 4. Ace 3. Bet 10 for Momo. All right, so Momo going 10. What was Mike going? 20, sizing up. I could totally see 20. I agree, Joey. I also think like their cap is thick. $10 or 20. 10 or 20. 10 seems like a good bet. 20 doesn't seem like a bad bet. Flush draw still calling. 7 still calling. As played, 5 probably calling. It's making me lean toward 20. Missy thinks she will check. I would check this like if one of the card was bad, but this one check twice. Like they don't have a 10 anymore, which means we have top pair, and top pair should be betting for value, I think, Missy. Check play with Jack 10, Diamond Spade, sure. But does Jack 10 check twice? I mean, kind of maybe. Like, we check the flop, right? So we're kind of cap. Maybe a 10 does check twice. I'm not going to be 100% concerned about that, though. Because, like, I always bet here and, again, check river on bad river cards. So all I could have check 10. It's out there. It's definitely out there, Ashes and Snake. Definitely out there. For me, it's like, I'm kind of leaning 20 myself. Kind of leaning 20. B-Money going 20. Mojo going 10. Let's find out.
The turn
20
2 of hearts is very nice for us. Really, any
10 more 5
undercard
points.
turn besides a 7 or a 5 is going to be good enough for us, because when the small blind and the big blind check, they probably have worse than a 10, because most players in most small stakes games just bet when they have a good hand that's almost always good that needs protection. Even though the small blind, for example, definitely should be checking some 10s in the spot, because they're going to want to check with a lot of hands, and that helps protect their checking range. But I would be willing to bet that most small blinds in this scenario, when they do check, they completely lack 10s or better. So if they lack 10s or better, it means we probably have the best hand. Yeah, the big blind tricky player could have a 10, but they often just bet it anyway. So I think now we want to bet, and given our 9s are almost always the best hand, and our hand is very vulnerable to being outdrawn, this is a spot where I think we want to go for a relatively big bet size, like $20, maybe even bigger. So this is kind of like a spot that we've gone through in the cash game and tournament master classes, where you bet the flop with a hand like top pair, good kicker, and then the turn brings a card that makes the board very draw heavy. This is not exactly the same spot, but it's similar. And you got to realize in this scenario against most small stakes players, our pocket 9s are actually almost always good at this point, but they're very vulnerable to being outdrawn. And when that's the case, you usually want to go for a pretty big bet, sometimes overpot.
It's very different.
Now, I don't think we want to go for overpot in this scenario in a multi-way pot, especially when our opponents, they could still have a 10. But I definitely like betting in this scenario. I think a lot of people mess this spot up by just checking it behind, thinking, oh, well, I can probably see a cheap showdown. And, you probably can see a cheap showdown, but wouldn't you rather get money in the pot against a 7 or a 5 or a gut shot or a draw, right? Mm-hmm. So imagine the opponents just have overcards, like give them ace, 8, and king, queen. I mean, it's not like we're loving it. I'd rather them just fold and give me the pot, right? Because they have, how many outs do they have? They have 9 clean outs, right? That's a real number. 9 clean outs is a real number. I'd rather not get outdrawn, 20-something % of the time. And don't forget, we can easily get called by a 7 or a 5 or 2, right? And some of those draws are going to continue. Like, say they have ace 3, they may call. Or say they have jack 9, they may call, right? So we can definitely bet and get money in the pot. If we get raised, it's certainly a bummer. But we will deal with that whenever it comes. Big blind calls. River is a 2 of clubs, and big blind checks. Should we check? Bet 20? Bet 35? Or bet 65?
I actually think the smaller bet, even smaller than 10, 10 and smaller, is too small in tournaments as well here. Because all the same logic applies where we should be going for value for all the same reasons. So definitely betting too small here for sure. For sure. What do we do now? Tino snap 65'd it. Just pot it. Bang. Same with Missy. You can't just fold. You could check and show down. Cyrus going 35, about half pot. 65 for Mr. Pucks. $35 for Caddy Grinder. 35 for Mr. B Money. Says Jonathan might go savage as hell. Joey says, definitely one of my weaknesses. I'm getting enough value on rivers with medium hands. Nice. Good quiz. Check or bet big. Check or bet big. Check versus the tricky player, says Dennis. Take my 65 and buy your wife something nice. Momo says, no, it's not the right answer, but he always checks here. Yeah. We can't. I don't think checking is like the worst option against a tricky player. I think I would bet for value a lot because I don't think. I mean, the tricky player is going to check a 10 twice. They are. But they're also going to call with a 7 and a 5 here a lot. I'm kind of feeling the 65. Say, Snake, no problem, man. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm kind of feeling the 65 with effectively top pair. I wonder if 65 pushes out a 7. I mean, in game, I think I would go like 45. I think I would go like 2/3 pot or something in game. So I'm kind of in the middle. Hey, Joey, thanks for hanging out, buddy. Kind of in the middle. I would probably go in the middle here. Myself for sure. Carter going 35. B Money going 35 and checking for Momo. Let's find out. 35 good. Keep
So the
small.
opponent could have a 2.
Good.
I think that's very reasonable, but they could also very easily have
Checking
a 7
5.
or a 5. Notice that they would check all those hands on the flop, and they probably check them on the turn, although maybe they bet some of their best 7s on the turn. So we are very likely to be against a 7, a 5, or some sort of busted draw. Busted draws are probably just going to fold no matter what we do, so we're not really worried about those. What I really want to do is make a bet that can easily get called by a 7 or a 5. Now, this is an interesting spot because I don't actually know if I have a ton of 10s in my range. I do think we have a 10 or better in our range. We definitely want to bet that using a big size from a GTO point of view. And then hands like pocket 9s would go into a medium bet size. You should know from studying the Cash Game Masterclass on the river in these spots, we're usually betting half pot or bigger.
Me too, Mike.
Exploitatively, though, in general, I think you want to be betting smaller when you're trying to get called by weaker hands. And here we're definitely trying to get called by some weak hands, like a 5 or a 7. Or maybe even ace high. And I think if we start going pot with this hand, even though this could easily be a pot size bet in GTO world because everybody's lacking 10s, I don't think we want to do that against most players unless they're very calling stationy, because I think a lot of players will start folding out a 7 or a 5 if we blast it for pot. So I think pot's out of the question. The question then becomes, should we go 35 or 20? And I think when the bunch of draws miss, people are going to be willing to call some sort of a decent bet. Also, we don't exactly know how the opponent's going to play. If we're living in GTO world, I definitely think 35 is going to be the best number. But if you know your opponent in particular is very inclined to fold to even like half pot bets, but they're going to be pretty inclined to call if we bet like $20 just because they think, well, pot odds, I guess I got to call, then maybe the smaller bet of 20 could be fine exploitatively. I'm pretty much never going to check. I mean, if we do bet here and get check raise, it's miserably bad for us. If we do get check raise, it's probably a fold unless we know the opponent likes to overbluff, because obviously they could check raise a hand like a 2. That would make a lot of sense. They could either have ace 2, 3-2 suited for all I know, right? Because the flop did check through. So they could have some 2s. They could be getting tricky with a set. But I think in this scenario, when we get check raise, it's probably just going to be a pretty good hand. Unless you know, again, the opponent's very, very inclined to go for bluffs. And if they are very, very inclined to go for bluffs, I mean, our 9s are not a great hand to call with because we block the random backdoor draws, we block the straight draws, etc., which makes it less likely they have those hands. But if your opponent's just way inclined to over bluff, then, you just got to find a lot of calls. So anyway, I think this is a spot where betting 35 is probably ideal, although exploitatively you certainly could go bigger or smaller. It's not even exploitatively to go bigger, I don't think. I think 65 could easily be good from a GTO point of view. Anyway, we go 35. Calls.
Mama, yeah.
With the ace-5 suited. Not shocking. I win a nice little pot. This
pot.
is a scenario, though, where I want to make it really clear. I think a lot of people just keep checking down. They check the turn, see the showdown on the river. Maybe this guy bets and they call, or maybe they bet the river, but notice they would have gotten $35 less in the pot, right? And that $35 is very, very valuable. I mean, you got to realize that's 12 big blinds that we extracted that a lot of players would have missed. Or what some people do is especially bad is they check through the flop, check through the turn, check through the river, roll over their hand, and win the pot. And then they get in $55 fewer. Less or fewer? It's fewer, right? Give you all an English lesson. If you can count it, it's fewer. Dollars are countable, therefore it's $35 fewer. $55 fewer. Sounds a little funny. That's because no one speaks English properly. All right, anyway. I like the way we played this with the turn in the river bet, and we won a nice pot.
Super good one, guys. Super good one. Definitely got max value. B-Money coming in with a 24. Nice one. Nice one. Momo, misread the sitch. Easy to do. This replayer has that where it shows blinds and pot, and it gets a little weird. For sure. GG's, guys. This was a good one. This was a super, super good one. Missy, got it wrong again. We always say this. If you're going to fuck up a hand, this is the place to fuck it up, right? It's free. We learn. It's great. So don't be embarrassed about that. This is the place to do it. No judgment. Just getting better. And that be a wrap. All right, so here it comes for the shilling. Exclamation point PC in the chat. There's a link so you can sign up for free for PokerCoaching.com. Uncle JL is nice enough to sponsor this stream. See you, Beats. And you can check out all the quizzes, the homework assignments. There's courses. There is other things. There's weekly webinars with the coaches, Matt Affleck, Tristan Wade, all those people. Every week you can get in there live, talk to these people. They're all recorded. You can watch them. There's the masterclass course, which is amazing. There's the advanced tournament course, which is amazing. Check all that out. If you like the stream, you want to see this one from the beginning or any one we've seen in the past, bang, there's the YouTube link. Check that sucker out as well. Make sure to give my buddy, partner in crime, even though he ain't here, he's out making millions, Mr. Crazy Sixes, a follow. And that's the one. We're going to send the raid over to Craig. See you. Third place in the Rumble. My man, Tino. Congratulations, buddy. Putting in the work. Glad to see it's paying off. Oh, if you want to be in my Discord, where we talk a lot of poker and other things as well, there's my Discord too. Oh, and PC Discord. Shit. There's so much stuff. All right. There's all the links. I'm going to throw the host over to Craig. I will see you later. Peace.